but I was also starting to push myself really hard. So I ended up making some mistakes with my alignment. I hurt my back pretty badly. So I decided to make some changes, trying to time it right so that at day 90, I could touch my toes. If you're gonna stretch hard, make sure to stretch correctly. That's what I've learned. Hi, welcome to another 30, 60, 90 day video. If you're new here, the premise of this channel is all about improvement. I'll pick different skills and try and master them for 90 days, or at least get better for 90 days, practicing an hour a day. And I'll release videos updating my progress every 30 days. So days 1 through 30, days 30 through 60, and days 60 through 90. This video is the third installment, so days 60 through 90, of me stretching like a ballerina. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe and turn that bell notification on so you don't miss future releases. And if you have any skills you think I should master next, leave a comment below. When I started this challenge, I was super inflexible. And although I'm not the most flexible person you'll ever meet now, I've made a lot of progress over the past 90 days. I'm pretty lucky to have a professional ballerina as a sister, so she's been helping me stretch along the way. If you missed my first two videos of stretching like a ballerina, I'll leave a link in the description below, so you should check those out. But here's a short recap of what happened in days 1 through 30 and 30 through 60 of stretching like a ballerina. Before starting this stretching process, I was extremely inflexible. Fortunately, I wasn't alone in this journey, but the routine my sister put together, it was divided into two categories: dynamic stretching for the first half and static stretching for the second half. But every time I stretched, my sister would correct little bits and pieces of my stretching. I was presented with some motivation issues. Fortunately, through Zoom, she was able to correct my stretching. I started stretching outside, getting in the sun, but when she came back, I was able to correct the bad habits that I had developed and start stretching correctly again. Having my sister back was a lot of fun. We were able to go out into nature together and we kind of leaned into becoming yogis.
I definitely noticed Joshua's progress. His hamstrings had gotten a lot more flexible. That was probably the area of his body I noticed the most progress in. And like Joshua said, his alignment had improved quite a bit. But that is also the area I thought he needed to work the most on.
By the end of these 60 days, I was pretty close to reaching my toes simultaneously, but I wasn't quite there yet. Hopefully, by day 90, I can reach my toes. So by the end of day 60, I was getting fairly close to touching my toes, but I was also starting to push myself really hard. I would stretch with elastic bands and try and pull myself closer to my toes. Unfortunately, when I was doing this, I didn't have my sister there to correct me, so I ended up making some mistakes with my alignment, which is essentially how your body is shaped or contorted when you're stretching. If you have poor alignment, then you're not really stretching your muscles in the correct way. And I came to realize this can be kind of dangerous. So, at the end of the 60 days, my lower back was starting to hurt a little bit, but I ignored it. After a couple days of stretching pretty intensely toward the beginning of this month, I hurt my back pretty badly. And for about a week, I couldn't stretch at all. I had trouble walking, sitting would hurt. Pretty much all I could do comfortably was lie down. So I was really bummed that my last month, where I was really getting close to touching my toes, started out with a bit of an injury. Fortunately, it didn't last too long, and after about 15 days, I was able to start stretching again normally. At this point though, I'd lost some of the flexibility that I had gained during the first 60 days. So my goal became to make that back up and hopefully be able to improve even a little bit more. I called my sister and asked her to walk me through the stretches again and watch me while I stretched so that she could correct any little things I would do so that I could make sure I wasn't making more mistakes and wouldn't injure myself again. If you're gonna stretch hard, make sure to stretch correctly. That's what I've learned.
Keep your hip back. Keep your shoulders facing like the same amount to the front. Yeah, there you go. Kick higher, 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 higher. Good. Don't round your back when you kick front. Yeah. Shoulders. Don't look down. Good. Good. Try to pull your back foot out more. Like strain your knee more. Yes. Good. And then press down. And just making sure you're pulling it as far as you can. If you're feeling stretch in your back when you do that, you can come up to sitting with your back straight and then like breathe in and reach forward again. To avoid straining your back, concentrate on pushing your knees down rather than on getting close to your feet.
After she corrected a couple of my positioning and my alignment a little bit more, I started stretching harder. I started pushing myself again, and I started noticing the difference. With just 10 days left, I felt like I was back to where I was at the beginning of the month, at the end of day 60. But that wasn't good enough for me. I was still about 2 or 3 inches away from touching my toes, even when I was really warm and when I was pushing hard. So I decided to make some changes. Instead of just stretching everything in my body once or twice, following her routine, which took about an hour, I would follow her routine, and then at the end, I would do 4 or 5 sets of splits and hamstring stretches, because those were the two I wanted to improve the most at. And it was really painful. I made sure that when I was stretching, I had proper alignment so I wouldn't injure myself. And I changed up the stretches I was doing a little bit so that it would make it harder for me to be lazy and stretch incorrectly. I started doing sit and reach, but reaching with my opposite hand. And then I also would sit against the wall and put my legs up. Because at the beginning of this challenge, I couldn't sit at a 90-degree angle. It was really hard for me. I would have to sit back when my legs were straight and put my hands behind me, and it was always really awkward. So I wanted to push my hamstrings to be able to at least form a 90-degree angle when I was sitting down. So I'd put my butt up against the wall, and then I would put my legs straight up into the air. And that was the second hamstring stretch I would do. And then I would do side splits. And I would repeat this 4 or 5 times after having completed the stretching routine. And the hope was that in 10 days, I could make some kind of a difference. As the days progressed, I started realizing that going this hard every day wasn't going to be possible, because the next day after stretching like this, I would be kind of sore and I wouldn't be able to reach as far. So I started doing it every other day and then resting a little bit in between, trying to time it right so that at day 90, I could touch my toes. I would still do all my other stretches, and the other stretches were starting to become easier and more enjoyable, especially when compared to doing the side splits, which is one of the most painful exercises I have ever done. My favorite stretch is definitely butterfly. I've started enjoying different stretches. I'm not really sure why, but some of them are just really enjoyable. But generally, the entire hour and 15 minutes of stretching ended up being fairly painful. As the last day approached, I asked my sister if she'd be willing to walk me through the test results. I had yet to touch my toes, and I'd been trying every day, so I wasn't very hopeful. But I was getting close. Here's a bit of how that last stretching day went and how the results looked. All right, tell me what to do.
Okay, start just reaching down and touching your toes. You're so close. Did you touch it?
I touched it. Woo!
Oh my gosh!
Oh!
Yay! That's amazing. Okay, good. Congratulations. Next, shoulder stretches. Good, thank you for touching. Nice. Okay, next we're gonna do, go ahead and do cobra, so lie down on your stomach. Okay. Good. Okay, and then lastly, let's do split.
Okay. What do you think?
I think that you have improved a lot from the beginning until now, and I'm really proud of you for actually stretching every day for an hour a day. I know you didn't always enjoy it. Yeah, and I think it's pretty incredible that you have come this far. You can touch your toes, which is amazing. I know you wanted to be able to do the splits when you first started, but I think you know now that that was a bit of an unrealistic goal. But yeah, you've progressed a lot. So I hope you keep stretching.
I will. Thanks.
Yay!
Thanks a ton for all the help.
Of course.
Dude, we did it.
You got both of them at the same time, right?
Touch your toes.
Both of them at the same time.
And if you had shoes on, it would look way easier.
Oh yeah.
You want to try to do it? You want to try to do the whole thing one more time? Is that what you're saying?
No,
What
I was
exactly?
just doing it. I can touch my toes at the same
It's
time.
all on that belt too, right?
Yeah.
It's all on both. Yeah.
Got it.
Awesome.
So after 90 days, I'm still not a very flexible person, but I can touch my toes, and I think in general, I've gotten a lot more flexible and my body feels a lot better. As long as I'm stretching correctly, I feel like my body feels really loose and I'm able to exercise without really worrying about it. I've also learned the importance of not pushing yourself too hard and making sure you have proper alignment and stretch correctly. This is just the first 90 days of this stretching journey. I'm hoping to continue this forever. Maybe not an hour a day, but I'm definitely going to continue stretching for the rest of my life. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification. If you have any other skills you want me to learn or you think would be interesting to watch, leave a comment below and I'll check them out.